us live and in color on that very special Wednesday night from parts unknown in the famous Faithletic Sports Palace Studios. I'm the coach, and I'm with
Casey,
and we are Faithletic, the podcast. And welcome to the show. We are gunslingerless tonight, but we are here in the house.
You bet we are. Well, this is going to be a short show. There's not a lot to talk about.
There's not a lot to talk about at all.
So we're going to be struggling to find content. So bear with us as we kind of struggle and mull through what have been sports this past week. But yeah, Dan, there's been a lot. It's been quite the opposite of that, actually. It's been quite crazy the past week or so. We're trying to adjust all of our things, so bear with us to our listeners out there. We apologize.
On KC right there, so yes.
Yes.
You did.
Anyway.
He keeps moving around, and it's throwing me out.
I'm sorry. I try to stay still, but I got ADD.
You're a mover.
I'm
a
a mover and a shaker.
Mover and a shaker.
Uh-huh.
So Gunslinger's without us tonight, but we do have his picks for games of the week. And boy, do we have a big weekend coming up in college and professional football.
It's a big week.
Biggest. We're going to separate this in two categories.
Okay.
Coaching changes and games played, and maybe three, because we need to talk about the college football playoffs that's coming up. But right now, I think the big thing is how about last weekend?
I think this is what the NCAA has wanted for the past probably 5 years, is my thinking.
Okay.
Is that they've wanted these national conversations to take place, and I think they've been hijacked the past few years with having the same old players be in the Final Four, and it's gotten dull and all of that.
We're not clear of that yet, by the way.
I agree. I agree. However, I think it was a great sample of we have wanted to see something different for the past 3 years, and we saw something different.
Well, we
this
have
weekend.
we have been teased with something different.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
We're going to have a few things different because we don't have Ohio State in there, but we still could have Alabama.
I'm not even talking about the college football playoff yet. I am talking just specifically
somebody else winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
okay, I'll go with you there.
We had a great Auburn-Alabama game,
which Auburn should have won,
and that got even kind of shadowed between what happened with Ohio State and Michigan and Bedlam later.
So can we talk? Yeah. Can we back up to Auburn, Alabama, real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
What's the deal with the overtime now?
I hate it. I didn't
even know they were doing that.
No, I did. It was during the Penn State-Illinois game
that
went 10 overtimes that I realized that was happening, and it still messes with my brain. Then I'm like, why are they at the 2-yard line in the third overtime?
I was completely lost.
I hate it more than anything.
I was completely lost because I was trying to do the math. I didn't watch the overtimes, and they were showing the highlights. And I was trying to do the math on how is it 24-22? How is it 20? They were 20-20 earlier. How's it?
That has to be a betting situation. No, I'm not even joking. That
it's crazy.
Spreads got messed up by overtime, and so that's a betting thing where they changed it for them. That would be my.
I was
that would be
so
my theory.
Confused, and I had to go back and go. Something's different, so I went and pulled the rules up, and I go, oh, so after 2 overtimes now, it's just 2-point conversion.
They had to change that in the past year because I didn't realize
they didn't
do
it last year. I don't think. Need a cough button?
No, that snuck up on me. Sorry, everybody. It's been a long week, working in the elementary schools or middle schools. So,
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was wild.
You would thought that would give an advantage to Auburn in that case, but I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, which you would think that in and of itself. Oh, yeah, that's probably one of the craziest things that happened during the weekend was.
Oh, there we go.
The Iron Bowl, but such was not the case. In fact, it was one of the craziest weekends of college football that I can ever remember. What do you think was the most surprising to you out of the game's part?
Oh, probably OSU.
Yeah,
I know you thought. I thought that OU would win the game just because same old, same old.
Yeah, I look at it
because I thought Michigan would beat Ohio State.
I think I picked Oklahoma State.
You
I
did.
Can't remember.
You weren't shocked by it.
No, I was
surprised.
not. I was not because I don't know. I look at that defense and I watched I watch every OU and OSU game there is. And OU just hadn't impressed me this year. Now, I will tell you what was impressive was Caleb Williams in that game.
Yeah, I guess.
Where he could have been tackled or sacked maybe 100 times.
Yeah.
That game, and he just found a way to keep plays alive. And that was his last game as a OU Sooner. So there you go.
He hasn't entered the protocol yet.
The portal.
The portal.
Which we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I was not surprised by that game. I just thought that I think it really spoke to how much writing was on the wall about the situation with Lincoln Riley, because I felt like the past 3 weeks in his press conferences and things like that he's been off and just like OU just wasn't what it was the past few weeks to me. And that's not to minimize
I think that does minimize OSU, though.
It shouldn't, though.
It
shouldn't, because I think that their defense is as good as
this
anybody in the
whole thing has
country.
minimized OSU. This whole thing.
So you're more conspiracy theories, sort of?
I just think it's awfully, it's bad for Oklahoma State, for recruiting, for everything else, when you finally get over the hump for the first time in 7 years. And less than 24 hours later, your rival school has a coaching change that takes the complete attention away from a spotlight that you rightfully earned. You rightfully earned that spotlight to be, hey, we beat Oklahoma. We're now in the upper top 5 of the NCAA in college football, and we're gonna. And I'm not saying anybody intentionally did this. I'm just saying circumstances sucked it away from them again.
I think that could be, but I think that the fact that they're still playing this weekend matters. And
It does.
I think that it actually might play into their favor, that the pressure is going to be off of them because this story has taken up so much of Oklahoma that maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, is taking some attention off, but you're also like playing this juxtaposition where right now you need as much eyes on you as possible to see to get you in the playoff.
Yeah.
It's going to be an odd thing. I don't know what scenario gets Oklahoma State in the playoff, and I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, I can tell you what I'm hearing.
Talk to me.
If Oklahoma State wins, they're in, because even if Alabama wins, because they will have Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State. The only way Oklahoma State doesn't get in, I'm not saying I totally agree with this, but the only way Oklahoma State doesn't get in is if they lose. Because Notre Dame lost their coach, and the committee will take that into consideration. Cincinnati is, even if they win, will get in. And who else are you? I mean, look, you pull up the top 10 and the college football. But who else are you going to pick?
No, you're right about that, and I don't, especially
Baylor?
if they win.
No, but if OSU wins, Baylor won't be in.
No, you're right, because Oklahoma State has better wins.
Who are you going to pick?
Right.
The only scenario that works is Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's without their coach.
Which, again, there's so much layers to pull back right now, because they literally said that, and I was like, I'm blown away. I'm not blown away that would happen. The committee would specifically state that the coaching
they've already said
changes. I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm blown away by that fact. Yeah. It's like you cannot. It is not fair for the program to be penalized.
I agree
for what Brian Kelly did,
or the kids.
But and I think I was more frustrated with the fact that they came out and just said it.
They said it.
Like,
they'll take that
and
into
not only that, they showed you in
they may not have a choice though.
No, they might not.
So if Alabama loses and
Yeah.
Oklahoma State loses and Cincinnati loses,
Notre Dame's in.
they're in
Like,
without a
okay,
coach.
think about that for a second. I would so root for Notre Dame being in, playing against Cincinnati, who Brian Kelly coached for. Like, how ridiculous would that be? Where they're playing coachless against
or
a
even
team
better
that
yet,
Kelly,
that the coach from Cincinnati goes to Notre Dame before the game.
I know.
I mean, it's stranger things have happened right now.
I
Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame, the first coach in 114 years to leave Notre Dame on his own accord.
I cannot.
And take another job.
See, and this is the bizarre thing. Is like I know we were trying to break down the games and stuff like that before we got to more coaching situation, but it's hard to talk one without the other. But I cannot fathom these two programs that are easily probably top 5 jobs. I mean, to me, they are. These 3 programs that are being talked about, USC, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, LSU, as well. Those are all top 5 jobs. And we're playing coaching carousel with them. I think that's why people are so compelled by it. It's like, these jobs never change.
They
don't.
Do you think Oklahoma just got slapped in the face a little bit because they think they're so elitist that now, like, what do you mean a coach took another job? That has actually happened before. Chuck Fairbanks. No, actually, Chuck Fairbanks went. Yes, he did. Chuck Fairbanks left Oklahoma at the top and went to the New England Patriots in 72.
Sure, but that's different. That's going to the NFL.
I guess. Yeah, you're right.
That doesn't even that to me. Like, I mean, that's. I would jump ship to go the NFL because I think that's where the best players play.
Yeah.
But
to go to another college football
go to
job.
another, and then to go the Lincoln Riley thing. If we talk about that right now, doesn't make sense in my brain, except for the fact that he did not want any smoke from the SEC.
Yeah.
That he wanted nothing to do with it, and he showed his cards by doing that. Because
twice.
Yes, twice.
Because he could have gone to LSU.
He could have gone to LSU, and that would have been. I think that's the thing that I'm like.
And if you listen to LSU, they thought he was coming.
Yeah, like it's so bizarre to me that. But it also, I'm like, the more that I think about it, is like, no. Lincoln Riley has done well in this Big 12 environment.
Yeah.
Why would you want to go to the SEC and be a smaller fish in a big pond? When you can go to the Pac-12 and have the rights to the private jet and go anywhere you want in the country and go recruit, like, I don't blame him for jumping ship at some level because of the uncertainty of what Oklahoma could look like in the SEC. But I do think, I mean, I've talked to so many people about the fact that I'm hearing so much that they feel betrayed, that they this is like Kevin Durant all over again.
It does seem like Kevin Durant a little bit.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't
I
to
think
me.
it does a lot, personally, but this is what I think.
So here's my thought about Kevin Durant is like the Thunder at least unite the state because they're so divided on football that like some people are laughing about the situation. Everybody was sad about Kevin Durant leaving.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Yeah.
In the scale, I agree, but the similarities in the leaving
and the way that they left it, they said, "Oh, I'll never leave. Like I'm here for life."
Yeah.
And I think that like you think about it, like Bob Stoops, who, by the way, I've super enjoyed on Fox coverage, and he's always been an Iowa guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to admit it, but I love Bob Stoops.
Played there.
And, yes, the way that he did to step down to elevate Lincoln Riley.
He feels kind of responsible for
He
this.
does feel responsible.
Yeah, he was mad.
And he was, like, he is mad. And I think he has every right to be that.
I vouched for this guy.
You vouch for him as the golden boy to take the program to where it needs to be next. That he no longer was the guy anymore, but Lincoln Riley could be the guy to do it. And then he bails when things are going to get hard.
Yeah.
When they go to the SEC, Oklahoma fans, I feel 5% bad for you, which is more than I've ever felt.
I might be 1%
Bad.
on my end. I've been growing up here for 50-something years, so yeah.
That's been my joke.
Yeah.
It's like I feel 100% bad for the 5% that I feel bad. Like that's it. That's all I got for you.
So we talk about the game for a minute?
Yes, absolutely.
So let me tell you what I saw differently out of Oklahoma State in this game.
Wait, hold on. Before you go, on the Gamecast that you were watching,
well, this
is
was in
what
the first
you
half.
saw.
This was in the first half. I didn't watch most. I did go back and see. So second of all, I went back and saw the second half later.
Yes,
so I did see
sure.
it.
I get it.
But you're right. I did go. So those that are wondering what the heck we're talking about, when my team starts to fall apart, I usually go. I turn it off for one, and I just go. I'm out. And usually. Casey and the gunslinger know when I do it because I just go. I'm turning it off.
Done.
I'm out. And then I'll see something on Gamecast and I'll say, well, that's weird. And they'll say, I thought you're not watching. I go, I'm not. I'm on Gamecast.
I'm on Gamecast.
So I can follow it on Gamecast. So, but the first half, okay, I saw something from them that I usually don't see out of Oklahoma State, which is when they get punched around, they hit back. And one of the instances was when OU went down and scored that touchdown on like 3 pass interference plays in a row. And the one where the guy grabbed the defender's face mask and dragged him to the ground, and they still called a face. It was offsetting penalties, actually.
Yeah, right.
But it wasn't. They didn't call the face mask. They called unsportsmanlike conduct on the offensive lineman. They called pass interference. They call another pass interference that set the score up. But the very following kickoff, Priestley takes it to the house. And I thought, they're not going away in this game. And then they fell apart with the safety, which all of us agree that's offsides, clearly offsides, but didn't get called.
Right, and I will say this is like, the officiating was terrible.
Terrible. Both sides.
But it did not dictate the game because there were so many bad calls on either
both ends.
side.
It evened out.
I'm mostly an objective watcher as much as I don't like I watched that game as objectively. There was nothing normal about that game though.
Well, both of them had the big fumble that cost the score.
My big nervous I thought that was over in the third quarter when they melted down.
When they scored that touchdown after the fumble, after the punt.
They started to melt down in the third quarter, I was like, but there's 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You have plenty of football left.
Yeah.
I thought that was different, and they did. They proved me. They proved me right. They did not,
which they usually do.
There was a sense of resolve around the team, and Gundy did not panic either, like he usually does. When he gets punched in the mouth, his game plan
gets conservative. He changes things up. He tries to be unpredictable.
He's stuck with the game plan.
Yeah.
And I think it has everything to do with the defense, that he knew his defense was going to come around.
They didn't score any points in the second half.
They didn't score any points in the second half.
Yeah.
I was nervous, though.
I was more than nervous.
When they get the ball with 5 minutes to go and they run 3 straight plays.
Yep. Conservative again.
Which they were tempo offense all game long. They were up tempo anytime they had the ball.
Right.
And then they slowed it down, and then I was like, this is where
they're going to get in trouble.
They're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And they almost did.
If it hadn't have been for that tenacious defense, they would have.
Yeah.
And in years past, that would have been – because you weren't – were you here in 13, I guess?
I was not here in 13.
13 when Blake Bell let them down. It was in Stillwater.
I watched that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they scored. I mean, OSU's had the whole game.
Yeah.
And Blake Bell wasn't even playing. And they bring him in the game, and he goes down and throws a touchdown pass. This reminded me so much of that game.
Kansas City Chiefs Bell. Bell,
that's exactly right. He plays with the Chiefs now. It's a tight end.
Tight end, yes.
But
the Belldozer.
I even text Toby because I knew he would remember. This is like Blake Bell written all over again because they're going to go down and score. And I thought, there's no way they stop them.
Right.
And twice they got a chance to do it. Twice.
Right.
And OSU stopped them both times.
It was crazy now, and there's people upset about like the there should have been a pass interference call that second to last play of the game. Like, no, there wasn't. Like, they're just hand fighting the whole game. Like, that's not a penalty.
Well, they'd been calling it.
No.
They called it in the first half on Oklahoma State.
Right? Yeah, it didn't make any sense. So
I have a friend of mine on Facebook. Well, I have several that are OU fans, and he started a whole feed, whatever it is, about the officiating. And I said, well, you ought to know how it feels now. And he says, well, you'll never see me blame a game on officiating. You just started a whole conversation.
You just did. You just did.
Are OU fans that blinded? I mean, I know OSU. We're used to it.
Yeah.
We're used to this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch that game and be like, oh, the officiating completely changed that game.
Yeah.
Like, something like the Saints
Yeah.
getting,
Or the Cowboys.
hosed 2 years in a row.
Or the Cowboys.
Des caught it.
Des caught it. And
you name all the other things.
3
that
pass
Cowboys
interference penalty calls in overtime against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. That was really good. So
You're still bitter about
I'm
that.
a little bit bitter.
It's fair.
I'm done with
It's
the Cowboys.
fair.
I'm done.
We're not there yet.
No,
we
but we're getting
we
there.
still got college football
We're
to
still
talk
there.
about.
We're still.
The other great thing that I thought this weekend, just football wise, was Michigan beating Ohio State was something different, and it was awesome to see. Just
and
how
it was
much
the
they
Wolverine way too.
They imposed their will on Ohio State.
It was Bo Schembechler-ish
Yeah,
victory.
it was such a fun day,
Yeah.
to watch these games, because I thought that more people stood a chance this year. Games have been more compelling, so imagine what happens when they do expand this playoff to 12 games. How much more?
Do you think this helps them get there
games.
faster?
Yeah,
I hope
100%.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Especially if Cincinnati gets bumped from this whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is very possible.
Yeah, I think that there was even discussion about it last night if they were going to sign it into existence.
Actually, I think that if the only way Cincinnati can't get in is if they lose. I think that I don't know.
No,
Maybe
I don't
not,
think that's
because
true.
Oklahoma State. Because if Alabama wins, then you got to decide between Oklahoma State and Cincinnati if they both win. So who gets in that scenario?
Yeah, So it's
and
interesting.
furthermore, who should get in? Are they different?
Here's my thing: is the fact if Alabama loses everything, or if Alabama wins,
Everything
everything's
changes.
hosed.
Everybody
Because
is.
then we get Alabama, Georgia. They're both in.
And they won't play each other again. They'll
Won't.
make them third.
Nope.
Which they should be fourth.
Right.
With 2 losses.
Yes.
So the committee's going to manipulate the seedings. Go ahead. Sorry.
They will. No.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Yeah.
was just thinking through it. It's
Yeah.
I don't know where they'll put him, but yeah, you're 100% correct. If Alabama, that's the doomsday scenario.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's way better than that Alabama team. I don't think that Alabama team. I mean,
but it is Alabama.
I understand that,
And
they could
it's
win
Nick
against
Saban.
anybody. I understand all that, but even Nick Saban a week ago, when he went on that rant on that random radio show that you guys don't you guys take us for granted, blah 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 blah, and the fact that he was giddy over the fact that they beat Florida just barely, it shows me just kind of what difference he or how he feels about this team seems a little different. So I don't know. It's bizarre. Are we having some technical issues over here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we even live? Do
Yeah,
even
we
know
are
if we're
live. Yeah, I've already pulled it up.
I don't know. I think this. I think anything can happen in the SEC championship. For sure.
You're right.
But I don't think this Bama team is as good as some of the other Bama teams.
Well, again, for this thing to work out where everybody says, okay, and I remember Herb Street saying last week after the game, because he called the Oklahoma State game, he said, this is what you've been wanting. This is something different.
Something different, yeah.
And this is what college football needs. And well, it is, but you're still not there yet. I mean, you still got the committee that has the last say on who plays who. And I'm worried. I don't trust him. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't either.
I don't trust him.
They haven't shown
To do the right thing.
to do the right thing
Yep.
whatsoever
Yep.
so far. So yeah,
Yep.
you're right about that.
So my gosh, I need
Like I
to get
said,
you a yawn button.
I know. I'm telling you.
So Michigan beats Ohio State, first time in 7 years. First time that Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma in 7 years.
Yeah.
And then thank you, the PJ Flicks made it so
Thank
that your
you.
Iowa Hawkeyes could be playing
Thank you,
Michigan.
PJ Fleck.
PJ
Yes.
Flick. And I misunderstood. I actually thought that the winner of that game got to go. It was just if Wisconsin won that game, they were going to go play
They were
Michigan.
in, and if
I thought-
Minnesota won, Iowa was in because they had a better
I
record
thought
than them.
it was the
both.
winner, and I misunderstood.
Yeah, so I was going crazy. I was watching that game more than I was watching the
Yeah.
Iron Bowl because I
Yeah.
had more implications. Which, by the way, Saturday is my birthday, and Iowa gets to play in a Big Ten championship game on my birthday.
Well,
so
how about that?
pretty stoked about that.
Happy
So,
birthday,
yes,
Cookie?
big 33.
the cookie.
Yes.
I'll
If
get
I
you a
were,
cookie for your birthday.
yeah, I'll take one for sure. Yeah, I started. If I was Jesus' time, I started my
Oh, there you go.
ministry a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, and
Yeah, there you
this
go.
is my year to die
Yeah, it's
now.
time-
So 33.
Time to the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, sure.
So, how do you see it playing out? Your wisdom for this week. I
So-
mean, we're going to do our predictions later, so I guess maybe.
Sure. I think if Ohio or Oklahoma State wins, they're in,
I agree.
and
They should be.
I do think
Since that means if Bama wins, then you have to push out
I'm
Cincinnati.
interested in how well Cincinnati plays against Houston. If they barely squeak out a victory against Houston, I wonder about their status as number 4.
Yeah.
I really do, because I think they could easily get pushed out.
You think Houston has a shot
Again, probably not.
of beating Cincinnati? Dana Holgerson's got some tricks
They've
up his
had
sleeve.
some weird games though.
They
They
have.
almost lost to Tulsa. They almost lost to Tulane.
Yeah. Yeah, Tulsa almost had them on the ropes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've had weird games. Now they've looked good the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
don't think their coach leaving has distracting them a little? Maybe if the circulation of him going to Notre Dame can't just distract them a hair.
I
maybe?
don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. See, I wonder about. To me, he's the best hire out there right now, Luke Fickell.
And I probably agree with you, but there's what is the defensive coordinator's a shot to take the position?
Brent Venables?
No.
No. Oh, I can't remember.
At Notre Dame, Freeman.
Yeah.
He's up there too.
Here's my thing. Who is the best hire in the past 3 years out of any? Who would you say? Just your opinion.
Last 3 years?
Last 3 years, who is the best hire out of anybody in college football?
Man, I'd have to think.
Here's my hint. You used to go to the school.
Oh, Sam Pittman.
Sam Pittman to me
Yeah.
is the best hire
Yeah.
out of anybody in the college football where he's turned the ship around,
Quickly.
and he was a offensive line coach. He was a line coach.
Lines coaches are smart.
I understand that, and I think my point being is like, why are we trying to just get these these huge guys?
Because
Some
they're
of
trying to
the
make
best-
splash hires for recruiting.
I get it, but like,
Immediate impact is the name of the game.
sure, I
That's
understand
why.
that.
That's
but,
why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a recruiting war because
I don't
but
know.
think about it.
I'm so confused
You're trying to
by all
prevent.
this.
You're trying. It's college football's getting ready to be ruined because
Yeah.
because of name, image, and likeness and transfer
Yes.
portal. So if they don't do something immediately to get that recruit to say, okay, I'm going to stick around, they're jacked. Look at Oklahoma.
You're
Jack.
You're right, and I think that's we just saw a huge power shift just topple over
Yeah.
this weekend in real time. Like, it blew up in front of our faces. And so I think you're absolutely right about what you just said. It's just, it doesn't compute with my brain. This is what 150 years of college football is like before, and then it's changed
Name,
in the
image,
matter
and
of
likeness,
2 years.
baby, and then it's going to get worse because only schools they're going to be able to recruit is the top 10, 16 schools because of one, name, image, and likeness, and two is for college playoff.
Here's a question for you that I saw circulating on Twitter yesterday. Who would be your top 3 athletes that you would think would make the most money off a name, image, and likeness in the past 10 years? 20 years is what it was.
In college football?
In college sports.
College sports. That would take some time to think about. I would say Johnny Manziel would have.
Yeah. Yep.
He did.
He did.
Peyton Manning, maybe.
Yes. Reggie
Deion
Bush.
Sanders. That's 30 years.
Right. Reggie Bush.
Reggie, probably. You gotta, yeah.
Reggie Bush.
You gotta look at your Heisman Trophy winners.
To me, it was Reggie Bush, Tim Tebow, and J.J. Redick from Duke.
Yeah.
Those are my top 3.
Yeah, probably. I would probably agree with you there. I'd have to do some research before I could actually come up with a solid answer there. But just to name a few.
Danny Werfel.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, but my point being, like, you're seeing a crazy power shift in the past 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours.
So here's OU since last Saturday, Sunday afternoon.
Oh gosh. Is that something blowing up? Sounds like thunder. Wow, that's
pretty bad.
The rubble.
The rubble falling.
Yes.
It's playoffs. We're talking about playoffs.
So where do you think that? What do you think happens to OU?
Well, Bob will give him some credibility for the next few months, but who ends up coaching? I would think they'd be an absolute crazy not to hire Brent Venables, but
that's what they're talking about. That they even think by the end of the night that
he gives them a good feel. Although I think he almost got run out of town the last time he was here. So it wouldn't take long for the natives to get restless with him, but I think because of what he did at Clemson, he's on good footing. But he'll have to do something quickly.
What is here? I think Brent Venables is the hire for sure.
Yeah.
If they can get Luke Fickell, great, but I don't think they will. But
he's going to Notre Dame.
What about Mark Stoops?
No.
Just a hard no.
I just
because of what he's done at Kentucky has been pretty great.
I'm not sure that everybody else is sold on the rest of the Stoops clan.
No, probably not.
Although
just bring in Mike. He's the best of all of them.
Yeah. Well, he definitely create the most headlines. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about Mark Stoops, but it's Kentucky. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not LSU. It's not even Mississippi. It's not even Ole Miss. I mean, it's down in how many schools are in the SEC?
It's 14, 16.
Okay, so better than Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Better than Ole Miss? No.
No.
Better than Mississippi
State?
No,
they're bottom tier, but that's my point. It's like they've been really good the past year and a half.
Better than South Carolina?
2 years. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the past couple of years,
maybe,
they have been.
But as far as prominent winning at a university,
no,
probably not.
No.
I mean,
they're a basketball school.
Well, that's true.
They're a basketball school.
So
is
Kansas, and look what their football record is.
But that's my point. It's like they're a basketball school more than they are a football school. Anything that they do in football is playing with house money. Like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know if Mark Stoops would be a bad hire. I think they need to look deeper.
I think the best hire that nobody ever talks about anymore because he's made just so clear about where he stands is Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern.
Yeah, he doesn't have a shot.
Just never going to leave
No.
Northwestern, but there are so
He's
many
like
years
Joe
where
Pa.
he should.
Not comparing Joe Pa to like
No, I got you.
his
Understood.
activities.
Yeah,
but
I knew that. He is Northwestern through and through, and it's unfortunate because I'd love to see him at another school. Oh, you got this leaning on a cord. I don't want
do
that
that.
to be more loud
Remember
around
freshman.
electronics. Matt Campbell,
yeah, that's. I mean, OU.
he could go to OU. I'm interested in see what happens with the Notre Dame job. Because that USC was the domino that made things fall.
I don't think Matt Campbell's a good choice for Notre Dame. I think it would be good for him.
It would not be great for.
Well, let me put that in a different way. Brian Kelly was under fire for a minute at Notre Dame, and now look at him. I mean, he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history.
Yeah.
And he was in the playoffs, 2 of the last 4 years?
Yeah, something like that. Well,
and he's been in it 3 out of the last 12 or whatever?
Yeah. In the national championship, too, he got boat raced by
he
Alabama.
did. Got drilled. So that was Jalen Smith's senior season.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fickle has to be the right guy.
Yeah, I think to
that
me
makes
right
sense.
now he
and
is.
It kind of makes sense because
Brian
Kelly came from he came from Cincinnati, and so did Fickle. So
the other guy to me is Mario Cristobal, but
where's he?
Oregon.
Yeah, I don't think
he's one of the best recruiters there is in the country.
I think he stays at Oregon.
He is, but he will.
Yeah.
But he's another guy that fits in well.
Is there any way that this whole thing backfires on Lincoln Riley?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Because how many coaches have been there in the last since Carroll left? Pete Carroll's been gone how many years now? 12?
Yeah, but they've gotten Lane Kiffin and Todd
Oh, you know who else
Helton
they had?
And Ed Orgeron.
Dollars.
Which, by the way, I don't understand why Notre Dame hasn't picked up him yet as interim head coach, because he's the best interim head coach of all time.
He's coaching a national championship.
Yes, I know.
Would that not be a killer?
It would be amazing.
It would not be, because Notre Dame would never let it happen.
I know, but it would be amazing because he's the best interim coach of all time.
I don't even agree with that. He would not survive Notre Dame because he already has some character questions.
Oh, I know.
At LSU, and they would not tolerate that at Notre Dame.
Oh, I think that they're going to hire Urban Meyer.
Who's going to hire him at Notre Dame? No, they're not.
Just throw up a few Hail Marys and they'll call it a day. That's all they care about.
Hey, I got one for you. Here it is. I can't think of his name.
Scott Frost.
No. Who coached Baylor that got in so much trouble? Who was it?
Art Briles.
Art Briles.
Yes.
Hey,
Art Briles.
If you're out there, Adam Kosh, let's hear your thoughts on Art Briles.
I've thought about
Notre Dame.
So many Notre Dame jokes just about. I mean, it's not the first thing that. Never mind. I'm not going to say
coach
it.
At Baylor?
Yeah, that's a good one. I thought Matt Rule was a good option, but I don't like. I also heard a rumor that the private jet was out from Norman to Cliff Kingsbury today. Out in
There's
Scottsdale.
no way that happens.
No
way.
No,
he couldn't win at Tech.
Nobody's winning in the NFL right now. 9-2 record,
and it won't last.
Yeah, I think Brent Venables is the guy, and I think they've already got him wrapped up. I
think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know if he's long term enough. But he was well liked here. But I'd say this: he dang near got run out of town, though. I will say that.
Well, and if you look at the SEC, there's, other than Saban and Kirby Smart, longevity's not a thing in the SEC.
Not in the SEC, but
like OU kind of holds their hat on is that they've had like 10 coaches in the past 100 years of their program.
Nobody ever leaves.
And I think that was the craziness of this whole thing. But I think that they're going to realize, just like these other schools where you got about 2 or 3 years, and you're done.
Well,
and gone.
That's because of name, image, and likeness in the transfer
yes,
portal.
everything
that's
moves quicker.
It's going to accelerate everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's going to almost.
It's already happening though.
It's almost getting to the point where the NFL is trying to get there now, where everybody goes to one team to win this championship, and that got started by LeBron because it went to Miami, and then it went to Golden State, and then it went to L.A., and I'm disgusted with the whole thing personally.
Huh?
Aren't you a little?
No. Because I don't know if it's LeBron or
wonder if all the high schools here in the state, which it almost is that way anyway, goes to whatever high school they want to, and
100% they do. I know that for a fact.
But I'm telling you that that's right. And then and you've had 2 state champions in the last 30 years in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know this for a fact.
Yeah, so you're about to get that in college football.
Yeah, but you've already gotten that. You're seeing that. I mean, for the past 10 years,
I think
you've seen Ohio State,
I think
Clemson, Alabama.
I think it's going to be worse with the portal.
I think it could be.
It will be.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no set out time now, right?
Right.
They go immediately and they're eligible, right? I mean, did I misunderstand? That's the way it is.
No, you're right, and that's why you're going to see a lot. I mean, you've already seen a bunch of people that hitch their wagon to Lincoln Riley rather than the program that are going out there to go see USC. Now, that's where I think the LSU job, and I'm not slighting OU because I think their tradition is great and all that.
Yeah, agree.
But you have more kids that have stayed committed to LSU because Louisiana,
Well, there's our super fan, Mr.
There he is.
Howdy.
Howdy,
Gunslinger. We don't see Gunslinger. Oh, maybe he's up there somewhere.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, man. We've been kind of wrapped up in our own thing over here.
Yeah, I didn't even realize we had comments going on. Sorry.
So, Radical Online Radio, the Midnight Metal Monastery is on right now, I believe. We're getting ready to be in 15 minutes on Radical. What is it? Radical Online Radio. Yep, Radical Online Radio. Sorry we missed you earlier, DLC. We kind of got wrapped up in the college football thing.
Yeah.
Gunslinger might be on the chat, but he's not with us today. He had other responsibilities, and so it's not like we didn't have enough to talk about without him.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So I can't imagine how much Brian Kelly's going to sweat down in the bayou. He's already just looks like he sweats all the time, and now he's going into the bayou. Good luck with that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever been down there?
It's hot.
It's worse than hot. I remember the first time I went to Alexandria, Louisiana, which is not quite down on the coast.
Sure.
And it was, I want to say, September. It was so humid. I literally walked out and could not breathe.
No,
I thought I was underwater.
The bayou is terrible, and I think that's,
it's terrible. He better start getting in the sauna, getting used to it.
I guess.
Better start pacing up and down the sideline, make him a little sauna sideline there.
There's a reason why Coach A had a nickname for the son. He would exclusively call the son Ray Baker.
Ray Baker.
Because sun rays and it'll bake your rear end is what he would say.
Who said that?
I know, Ogeron.
Yeah, Ogeron.
Called it Ray Baker. Yeah, it'll bake your rear end.
Go Tigers. That's the only thing I could ever understand what he said. I couldn't understand anything else.
I love Coach O.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Can you go Irish? That works.
Go Irish.
Gosh. It works great for him.
It sound like gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He does have some situations with a girl that may or may not have been his girlfriend or whatever at the LSU practices, and so maybe he won't go to Notre Dame.
Well, and on top of that, I think he had some Title IX issues as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there were other coaches within the athletic organization that had a big problem.
Big problem with him.
Now, I might be going to get sued probably, but that's what I read somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just say I read it. Anything left on college football? I mean, we're getting into our predictions here.
Yeah, because that'll kind of round out us our top 5, our top 4.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's still so much in the air right now. I mean, I think the overarching thing is like I cannot believe people just left their jobs from OU and Notre Dame. Like it does not compute
weird.
with my brain.
It's weird.
I love the USC job, but I thought that somebody could fill that with a defensive coordinator position or offensive coordinator position, or maybe Luke Fickell would have gone there. But
and we talked about this off the air, and we probably need to get into the pros. But for Lincoln Riley to say that he didn't know anything about USC,
no, it's wrong. It's a lie.
I mean, he did an interview on, I think it was yesterday. When did this come about? Well, actually, it was. I'm just telling you. I'll be honest with you. It was Sunday. We talked about this Sunday. I go, well, then I thought to myself, why did you say you were not the coach at LSU? Because you would know you were the coach of LSU if you're playing the plausible deniability angle.
Yeah.
How did you know that? And then if you watched and I saw it live, and I saw him say, I won't be the next head football coach at LSU, I thought, there's something up with that.
Yeah.
I actually thought when I heard it, he's going somewhere else.
Yeah. I wonder how Florida feels about this because they just pulled the trigger on their coach with Billy Napier. Like, who they could have got out of this situation.
Yeah.
Where'd
he come from?
I think he was in as a defensive coordinator there. I can't remember where he came from, but it'll be interesting to see.
And we'll get
maybe Mike Leach will go to OU.
That won't happen either. There's no way. Any of that offensive. Now I tell you, who has a better chance of being there than Mike Leach does? Josh Heupel.
Yeah. That's
he
a
has
name.
a better, but like Venables, he was basically run out
of
town.
That's a name that's been thrown around.
He's done well since he's left.
Yeah,
and I would probably say that would make more sense than Mike Leach would.
Maybe they can get Jason White to stop selling air conditioners and finally come back home.
Well, he's just a pitch man, you know that, right?
Yes, I know that.
All right.
I don't think he actually sells. Well, he does to the general public.
Yeah, he's the pitch man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Pros?
I don't even remember what happened.
Well, we could talk about.
I mean, I do.
We could talk about the Cowboys if we want for a second. Do we really want to go down that road?
We can.
You don't want to talk about it?
No, I think I think we could do that through predictions.
So you
honestly.
still feel like that they're.
Yes, I do still think they're good because I mean we had a little bit of a discussion at church on Sunday. That I mean, my opinion is that you cannot totally count them out because Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb were out, and the wide receivers literally, if you watch their routes, Troy Aikman is saying out loud, I don't know what these wide receivers are doing.
Yeah.
This is not Dak's fault.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Yeah.
I think that the team is very good still, but you are in Cowboy fan mode that you can't help but think, yeah, this team is going to melt down.
Well, I know it's beating a broken record for those that are listening to hear me every week. This is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be something. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be suspensions. And now you got COVID protocol where, heck, these guys may never get out of it. Who they playing this week? Oh, no, he's still positive.
There's 8 that are still positive right now.
That's what I'm saying.
They might not even play Sunday, which would be hilarious.
You don't have a coach?
They're going to forfeit.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
They're going to make them forfeit.
And you got a third-team quarterback.
Here comes the Washington football team. Going to make the playoffs
again.
The
third-team quarterback is going to start, and he's going to have a marquee day.
Yeah.
He's going to have a marquee day.
It's crazy.
His fantasy projection's like 25 points. They haven't even got on the field yet.
That's absurd. I love it.
I'm bummed.
I know, but I still think the Cowboys are going to
you mean to
be in the NFC Championship game.
Let me tell you what I kind of feel it's going to happen.
What?
They're going to lose the division.
No, they won't. They won't.
They're only 2 games ahead of Washington right now. They have to play them twice.
They won't lose those games. They
I don't know.
just won't.
I don't know. Didn't Washington just beat?
Seattle stinks right now.
Didn't Washington just beat the Buccaneers?
They beat the Buccaneers?
Yeah, they did.
They did, yeah.
And until last week, I thought the Eagles might creep up on them, but after blowing that game against whoever they played.
The Eagles, that game didn't even make any sense in my brain either. The fact that they had run the ball so well, and they're like, yeah.
There's only one team that doesn't have a shot at
our
catching them, and that's the Giants.
Our game plan has been foolproof for the past 2 weeks. Let's get away from it and make Jalen pass the ball. Didn't make any sense to me. Chiefs didn't even play this weekend, so that was interesting, and I hate when they don't play because it's like, what do I even do?
Yeah,
just watch Red Zone.
The Cowboys don't play on a Sunday for till January.
It's crazy.
It's like, help me out. Okay, so let's talk about our last couple of weeks, or last week. Interesting fact.
Interesting fact.
We all were 7-3.
Okay.
You missed the Wisconsin game.
Okay.
Because you picked Wisconsin.
I did.
You missed the Green Bay Rams game. You picked the Rams.
Right. Yeah, I did.
And you missed the Cowboys game. 3. You're 7-3. You picked the Cowboys.
I did pick the Cowboys.
I picked the Cowboys, and I was mad as a hornet because I knew it was going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen. Oh, you were.
I did. I don't even know why I did it.
Because you love the Raiders more than you actually like the Cowboys. I do like the Raiders. You like the Cowboys. You secretly like the Raiders more than the Cowboys.
Not secretly, but I do like the Raiders.
Because they give you less stress because they're really not actually your favorite team, so it's easier for you to watch them.
And when they lose, I don't get mad.
Exactly.
Gunslinger missed the Wisconsin game. He missed the Steelers-Bengals game. He went with the Steelers, and he missed the Cowboys, so 7-3. Okay. So overall, drum roll, please.
Still in the lead.
You have a... How did that happen? Were you two tied the week before?
I was up by a couple, I think.
I think you're up by 1. No, let's see. You were tied. Because the week before, you were 64-20.
Oh, yeah. I missed a week in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't add the games correctly. No, I think I did. So you were 74-48. Gunslinger 74-48, and I'm 1 game behind at 7-3-49.
Jeez, it's always so tight.
It is. It's been that. It was that way last year.
Yeah, it was. Gosh, I need to make some separation this week.
And
do we start doing spreads next week to create some separation? The playoffs. Fair enough. A good, clean, gives us a clean.
Well, I think it's we can study it closer because we only have certain teams we can do it on, so I think it's easier. I guess we can move into predictions. Can you drum up a devotion, by the way?
I can find something. Yeah.
And we'll do that here in a minute.
Maybe I can't because my phone's dead.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
My iPad's right there if you want to Bible apps on there. There it is.
There's my phone. We're good. I'll figure it out.
All right. So let me get – can you do me – are you about ready to die?
What do you mean?
Your phone, did it die? Is it going to die?
It'll be all right.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
Can you pull up Josh's Gunslinger's predictions as we do this? Okay.
I'm at 5%. Plenty of time. No, for real, it'll be good.
Okay.
Be good.
All right.
This baby lasts a while.
All right. First game, we're going to do college first, and then we'll go to pros. Although we probably should reverse it this year. Let's reverse it. Let's go college last. How's that?
Good call.
Because there's just so much going. So first game in the pros, Washington at Las Vegas. I'll go first on this. Las Vegas.
Okay. I'm going to go Washington football team.
Washington football team.
And
Josh wins?
Josh has Las Vegas.
Okay. All right. And then the LA Chargers at Cincinnati.
I'm going to go Cincinnati.
Josh did the same, correct?
Yes.
He did. Okay. And then New England at Buffalo. This ought to be a good one.
I'm going to go New England.
Ooh. Josh went Buffalo, right?
Yes.
He did. I'm going to go Buffalo.
Okay.
Denver at Kansas City. This should be a good game. I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
And
Josh?
also Josh went with Kansas City.
And then Dallas at New Orleans.
Dallas.
Of course you would. And then Josh went Dallas as well.
Dallas.
Correct? I went New Orleans. I'm not picking them anymore the rest of the year.
I know you will, but they're starting Taysom Hill. He's terrible.
He won't be this
terrible.
week. You do know that Dallas has a history of
I
making subpar
know. I
quarterbacks
get it. But
Super Bowl MVPs. You know that, right?
Taysom Hill stinks.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, he's going to stink this week.
He's
All right.
going to throw 4 interceptions.
In the ACC championship game, it is Pitt against Wake Forest.
Give me Kenny Pickett all day. I want Pitt. Unfortunate name for a quarterback, by the way, Pickett.
And Josh picked?
Pitt.
I did too. Houston? No, let's wait on that one. Let's do Michigan at Iowa. Or Michigan against Iowa.
I'm going to pick Michigan.
What? It's the first time I think you've ever gone against your homer
Against
team.
Iowa? No.
Josh picked Michigan, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do Houston at Cincinnati.
Iowa doesn't have an offense, by the way. They have
No,
none.
I know.
Yep.
Houston at Cincy.
Houston.
Or against Cincy.
I'll go Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, and Josh did the same.
Cincy, yeah.
Yep. I think Josh and I were identical on the college ranks.
Yeah.
Let's do Georgia against Alabama.
Georgia.
Josh picked Georgia.
Yep.
And then the final game, and for all the marbles, and a chance to play in the college football playoffs.
Maybe.
Baylor at Oklahoma. Oh, well, Baylor versus Oklahoma State at Jerry World.
Jerry World. Go Pokes.
Against my better judgment, I'm going with Oklahoma State just because I know when I pick them, they lose, but I'm going to pick them.
Oh, gosh.
And then, and I know Josh picked OSU as well.
He did.
There wasn't too many games we were different on this week. It's not going to.
I was different on 2. I was different on Buffalo.
I was different on Buffalo, and I was different. So I went against both you guys on. Oh, and then the Las Vegas, Washington football team. You took Washington football team.
I did.
Right?
Yep.
I missed it wrong. I marked it wrong. Washington football team, and then he picked Las Vegas. Okay, I got it. And then he picked Buffalo or New England. He picked Buffalo.
Yep.
And I picked Buffalo. Okay. All right.
Let's go Buffalo.
Tell you what, let me do our promotion real quick, and then you can go into your, and then I'll plug our show. Let me do our sponsor if I have.
Hey,
I don't know if I have.
I'm gonna plug one more thing while I'm doing this.
Go.
If you want a place to celebrate Christmas this weekend.
Oh yes, please.
That you could go to Trinity Baptist.
Yep.
It's gonna be a pretty cool weekend. I'm gonna try to. I think I'll probably maybe go Sunday night. I don't know. We'll see.
You're not helping out?
No.
Oh.
No. I don't do that anymore now.
Oh.
They don't need me.
That's not true.
They do, but
that's not true. Oh, there it is.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a spot here. I've done that one a couple times.
I hope I have it. Okay. So from our sponsors, we are actually a nonprofit 50C. We're an umbrella under 501c3 profit Team Black Mentorship, and here's a special message from them right now.
Team Black Mentorship. Find out more about accountability, work ethic, and honesty at Team Black Mentorship. The place where champions train. The place where champions evolve. For more info, go to teamblackmentorship.com. Team Black Mentorship, where iron sharpens iron and one friend sharpens another.
Okay, that was from our sponsor. So if you're hearing from us for the first time, Faithletic podcast is a podcast that combines some athletics and faith, and we definitely like to spread the good news in our show at some point or another, and then we conclude that with a devotion at the end of our show. Sometimes it's tied into our subject matter, sometimes it's not, but we always be able to if you are listening to us for the first time and you want to hear more about us and you want to hear our shows, all of our episodes are there. The Never or you can go to our all of First basically loaded on there. We're in our There's probably about a third of our all the probably 2 episodes of our first. All you gotta do is go to the subscribe button, the bell, and every time we post a new show, it will alert you, or it'll give you a notification. We appreciate your support, and tell your friends about us. We try to be as entertaining as possible. We try not to be controversial, and we try to stay away from politics, but we will try to spread some hope. So anyway,
That's right. So this is from the devotion from the U version app called Gaining Godly Wisdom. Easy for me to say. And it starts off with a verse that says, "Therefore, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock." And so this devotion is called, The Right Foundation. In Matthew 7:24-29, Jesus is teaching about the foundation we build our lives on. He said that whoever listens to his teaching and follows it is wise. They built their foundation on solid rock that won't shift or move when the storms come. But whoever hears his teaching and doesn't follow it is foolish. Their foundation is placed on sand, which is easily disturbed when winds and rains come. Every single one of us has built our lives on a foundation. The question is, what type? Is our life built on the hopes and dreams of others? If we seek to please people in our lives, even if it means that we don't stay true to our own beliefs, then our foundation is on them. This is dangerous because people change, and when they do, our foundation crumbles. Are we placing our confidence in things that are fleeting and pass away? If our hope is on material pleasures and physical appearance, then we will most assuredly be disappointed and our lives disrupted. On any given day, our money and our appearances can change. Do we find our security or strength in the ways of the world? If we place our trust in what the world offers us, then our foundation will always be shifting. The belief system that many in our society hold fast to changes depending on people's desires. Or have we planted ourselves firmly in Jesus Christ? If our foundation isn't steady and firm, our house won't have a place to stand on. If our foundation is on the temporary, then it will fail the moment the temporary changes. But if we are grounded in God's truth and seek to make up Jesus our own entire life, then when hardship and heartbreak come, we have a foundation that won't move. Sure, our lives or house maybe need some repairs and even break apart in places. But because our foundation is secure in Jesus, we can rebuild our lives on the hope we have in Him. Spend some time analyzing where your foundation is built. One way to know and ask yourself is the following questions. When someone I love fails or loses Their dream, does my world crumble? When my body changes because of aging, do I get depressed or upset? And when we are we flourishing the way that we think, do I feel secure? If you discover that your foundation is built on anything other than Jesus Christ, it's not too late to rebuild. As long as there is a breath in our lungs, there's always opportunity to change our lives and live fully for His glory. So
Amen.
there you go. Build
Amen.
your foundation on the solid rock. All
That's
other
good
ground
stuff.
is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand.
I think we're still live, but I can't tell you for 100%. Yeah, we're up. That's weird because I just lost the feed.
Weird.
It is very weird, but it's up on my end, so didn't lose it. It's kind
We
of
did it,
strange.
Dan.
I think we got through it. I'm still dealing with some technical issues. I appreciate everybody's patience with us, and certainly we should be back full scale next week. As far as I know, the Gunslinger will be back. You'll be here,
I think
right?
so.
Okay, and I'll be here.
I'll have to look at
I have to be
I
here.
think that I am. I don't have a basketball tournament next week. That's 7th grade, so I'm 8th grade.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, so I'm going to try to close us out with a little music here. Hopefully it works.
If not, I
Yeah,
can
there we
sing.
go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. This comes in.
I love it.
The ladies' high-tech gizmos here.
It's like Depeche Mode.
It kind of sounds like it,
Yep.
doesn't it? Little flock of seagulls incorporated in that. All right.
And I ran.
Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Remember, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, tell your friends and family. Join us on Facebook. Go back and check our other shows. Go Pokes. And
Pokes.
go
Go
Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes.
And so I'm Coach, and I'm with,
KC.
and we are
Faithletic, the podcast.
Have a good night.